Hello, I hope you've had a great day. The markets have. They're still slowly climbing. If you're already in the markets, that's awesome. I'm pretty sure you had a good day too. But if you're not in the markets, I hope you're at least thinking about it. And I hope that by watching my videos, it might spur your interest for you to act a little sooner than you would have without seeing these videos. Not enough people invest for their retirement. Many people believe that Social Security is going to help them when they reach that point, but sorry to tell you, it's not. If you want financial freedom, you're going to have to learn how to invest. I make a little bit of money every day, and if you choose to follow me, it's quite possible that you too will make a little bit of money every day, and it's the little bit every day that adds up over a long period of time. With that, let's start selling some stocks. Let's make a little bit of money. So let's take a look at what the SP 500 has done today. These candles represent a day. And for today, we actually started out at 9:30 at an all-time high of 638 and 4 cent. But since then, the market has just slowly dropped all day long to 635.82. So we're looking at roughly $2.30 drop. Since most of the stocks that I have also are part of the S&P 500, most of those stocks have gone up. So we do not actually have any stocks today that hit their sell triggers. But what we have earnings week, or rather, we're in the earnings season. We are currently in the third week of earnings season, and most of the stocks will report their earnings within the first 6 weeks of earnings. And the stocks that we have hitting earnings actually tomorrow morning, most of the stocks report earnings before 7 o'clock. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 stocks that will be reporting earnings tomorrow. So typically, what I do, let me show you. We have United Health, which is UNH. Now I own 4. But because they are significantly lower than our purchase price, it doesn't matter what they do on earnings, whether they go up or down. If they were to go up, they are not going to go up high enough to reach what our purchase price was at $600. The stock's just not going to move that quickly. So I'm not going to do anything with United Health stocks. We'll just keep holding those. They pay a pretty decent dividend. So at some point, their price will eventually turn around and we'll capture that gain in months or a year or so. So another stock that we have hitting their earnings is SoFi. Now I own 54 shares of SoFi. I had previously sold 18 of them before and bought them back and then resold them again, which kept us at our 54 total. Now, when I sell for earnings, I typically sell half of the shares that I own. If I own an odd number of shares or an odd number of blocks of shares, then I round down to the nearest even block, and then I sell half of those. And what a block is the number of shares that I purchase with each individual purchase. I look for 4 opportunities to purchase a stock. And with SoFi, for example, I buy 18 shares with each block. So with 54, I have 3 blocks of purchases of SoFi. I purchased all 54 here at the same time. So even though this is one single purchase, this counts as 3 separate purchases for my accounting purposes. And since I have 3 blocks or sets of 18, I'll round down to 2 and I'll sell 18 shares. So let's drop down to 18. And I bought at $14.07. So we're going to sell 18 at a little over $6.50 profit for each share. So let's do that. And there we go. $20.85. So we'll round that down to so that's roughly $120 in profit on that sale. Now, the reason I sell half is you never can tell, since it's hard to predict whether the earnings is going to be a positive movement for the stock or whether it's going to be a negative movement for the stock. So I like to have some just in case it is a positive movement, and I like to sell some just in case it is a negative movement. So it all works out in the wash over time. But at least this way, if it does move down, I suffer much less of a loss, and I'd rather have gains than greater losses. I'd rather have a little bit of gain than a lot of loss. So if the price does move up on us, we will gain on a set of 2 blocks of 18, which is 36 stocks. So if the price moves up, and we'll find out tomorrow morning what happens with the stock. So the next stock we're going to look at is PayPal. Now, PayPal, we have 8 shares, and I buy them in blocks of 2. So we purchased 8, which is for accounting purposes, that's 4 separate purchases, each one of 2. So we're going to sell 4 of those, and I purchased those at $77.11, and we'll go ahead and sell these here at $78.44. And we have roughly $1.30 roughly for each share when we've got 4 shares. So that's $5.20. Again, we'll find out tomorrow which direction the stock travels. And it's hard to predict which direction the stock will travel based on the price action of either the day or the previous days. We have price that went from $79.50 down to, so it's lost $1 today, but it doesn't mean that there's an expectation that PayPal price earnings report is going to be negative. Therefore, the price is going to continue down. There just really isn't any correlation. There's just too many people who are possibly buying and selling the stock today. We don't have a lot of volume. These bars here at the bottom represent the volume of shares traded by that particular time. And you can see the volume of shares on this particular day on July 11th. There was a lot of shares that were moving, and it all went down for the day. So again, price action for the day is not indicative of which way the price will move after the earnings is released. So the next stock we'll be looking at is Boeing. Now, I know we won't be selling. I only own 1 share of Boeing. And overall, their price action is in a pretty good, strong uptrend. However, they currently are in having a battle with the union. Today, the union turned down an offer. They rejected a 20% wage increase over the next 4 years and also a $5,000 bonus just to ratify that agreement. But the machinist unions turned that down, and I have no idea. I don't have enough experience in the markets to state whether or not the rejection of that contract will affect the earnings and the price action. When you invest in a stock, investors are interested in not just what happens on any given day or week. They're interested in what happens over the next several years. But for the short term, again, we'll find out tomorrow what happens to Boeing, and I'll take a look at these stocks tomorrow just so we can get that on the video and compare price movement from day to day. Our next stock that I'll be looking at is Merck. Oh, didn't go in. We have Merck. Got it in that time. All right. So these that are selling are my day trading activity. So I only own 1 share, and I purchased this at roughly $96.25 roughly. What I will do, we're going to remove the sell order just in case Merck has a positive earnings statement tomorrow. Sometimes under earnings it can go up 10 or 15 or $20. I'm not familiar with how rapidly Merck can rise or fall given an earnings statement, but just in case price does go up more than $10, I'd like to capture that entire gain, and we'll find out tomorrow what happens. So now we've got 2 more stocks left. Procter & Gamble, PG. I own 4 shares, and I typically purchase these in sets of 1 or blocks of 1. So these are 4 purchases of P&G. So what I will do, we have a sell order for 165.03. I'll cancel this, and we'll come back in, and just in case price does rise, sometimes price can go spike up and then fall back down for the long-term direction of travel. But just in case it does spike up, we're going to go ahead and put a sell order of 2. That way, if it does spike up, we sell 2 and fall down, we will have sold 2 and we'll reduce our overall loss. So we'll go back in and we'll change the sell order to 165 and 3 cents. And this is going to be good till cancel extended hours. We're going to confirm and send that. So now we have a sell order for 2. It is unlikely, even if Procter & Gamble has a great earnings statement, that they're going to go up $10. Sometimes they do, but more often than not, they typically don't go that far. This isn't considered a highly volatile stock, but we'll find out tomorrow. The last one we're going to look at is RCL, which is Royal Caribbean. Now, I've got a pretty good gain on Royal Caribbean. I purchased 3 shares at, actually I purchased 4 shares at $2.37. We had a price fall, so we sold one of those shares at $2.60, and then we bought back in at $2.70. So I still currently am back up to 4 shares, and this would be 4 separate purchases of 1 stock. So we're going to sell 2 of these. We're going to sell 2 at $352.32. We're going to have to drop it down. We'll go to $352.30. And there it went. So at $352.30 from $237, that is roughly $15. So there's $230 in profits that we made on Royal Caribbean. So that was a super nice move for Royal Caribbean. And again, we will see tomorrow what happens with the price. The cruise lines are booked for the next 1.5 years or up to 2 years. So it's quite possible that we will see price move upward tomorrow. They're going to have probably more than likely have a great earnings report, and their prices will probably move up. But it's fine for me. Again, I'd rather lock in gains as opposed to suffer losses. So that gives us a balance of roughly $2,500. So that gives us $1,500 to buy stocks. Again, if you're new to watching my videos, I like to keep $1,000 balance. That way I can keep working on my day trading strategy within this particular account. So let's move on to buying some stocks. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, I have 3. I have 3 stocks within this strategy that has hit their purchase triggers. But before we do start buying, if you could please click the like, share, and subscribe button. That way the algorithms will find us and send us to some more people out there. Hopefully you did hit those buttons, and now that you have, it's time to buy. And so the first stock is Keysight, Keys, K-E-Y-S. That's Keysight Technologies. So I currently own 2 Keysight stocks. I'd like to own 4, but since it's earnings, well, excuse me, no, this is our purchase. Keys is not one of our earning stocks. I've already gone through that list. This is stocks that we can now purchase. So we have price movement that has moved above. The fast line has moved above our slow moving average, and it is in a fairly decent upward trend here. We have price a good distance away from this particular line. We're above the median line of our histogram, which is right here. This is our median line of the histogram of the MACD. All the green bars in the MACD histogram represent when price is above the median line. Therefore, red would represent when price is below, excuse me, not the median line, when price is crossed. When we have a cross in fast moving average and the slow moving average within the MACD. Green bars represent when price is above the line, and red represents when the fast moving line is below the slow moving average. This stock also happens to be a stock that I'm day trading. So anytime you see a volume of purchase and sales or trades, that will indicate that a stock that I've day traded with, and that's part of the stocks for this week that I'm day trading. I've been day trading this since June 24th, making a little bit of money as this price action moves up and down. So I'll go ahead and purchase 2 shares at 166.74. And our next stock that we're going to be purchased, or at least looking at, let's see why it triggered our purchase triggers, is Shopify. This is currently a stock that I'm day trading. You can see here there was very few day trades here. I've been day trading this since April 29th, and through this consolidation phase, I didn't do a great deal of trading. Here I thought would be a good opportunity to purchase this stock and for a day trade and have a continual price movement, but it dropped significantly throughout the day, and then it continued on for the next 2 days, and then we have a slow rise in Shopify. All right, now I currently have 6 shares. I purchased these in blocks of 2, so I'd like to have 8 shares of Shopify, but this is also currently a stock that I'm day trading. So let's take a look at my 1 day, 1 minute chart. Well, actually it's 2 minutes, 1 day, 2 minute chart. So time frame has to go up to 2. And we'll zoom in and you'll see we will not be purchasing Shopify today, or at least at this moment, until we have a continuation of price crossing above the slow moving average and with a continuation on the next candle. So we'll leave that alone for now, and I'll just keep looking at my day trading charts. So let's go back to my 3-month time frame is daily, 3 months, and a day. So this is our 3-month daily chart. Again, each candle represents 1 day. So our last one we'll be looking at is an ETF, XLB. All right, here we are, XLB. It is an ETF for materials that are used within manufacturing here in the United States. And we currently have 6 shares. So typically I'd like to have 8 of these. What this represents, this 1 month, this means that if I go into my 1 month chart, so if I come to my time frame and I look at, just put in 5 years, and we're looking at a month, and we take a look at that, price action is below the slow moving line, and typically this is a sell trigger. So when we had the fast moving line cross below the slow moving average, our price was already below our purchase price of around $97. So that was already too low. But again, we hold on to it because they do pay a dividend, and we collect those dividends while we're holding on to it. But I will not be adding to those. It's possible that this price may continue up, but it also, since we have a price reached today of $93 and it's falling, it may continue down for the rest of the day and may continue down into tomorrow and the next several days. So we will not buy back in until we have price move back up, and then not only move back up, like today or this particular day on July 1st, or in the month of July, sorry, since this is an aggregation of a month candle and not a day, the next month we had price move back down. So I would not have purchased here. I would have waited until we have a confirmation with another green candle and then purchase. So that is how I trade. That's how I buy stocks. I don't just buy on the cross. There are several factors that I have to look at. And with this particular month chart being in the negative, if you will, then I will not be adding to that position. So all three of those are the three that hit their sell triggers, or purchase triggers, excuse me. So we'll come back into our 3-month, 1-day chart. All right, in our sell list, we had UNH. We didn't do anything with, but we did hit SoFi, and then PayPal, and we set a sell order for Procter & Gamble, and then we sold Royal Caribbean, and that was everything that we did in our sell triggered stocks. For our purchases, we purchased Keys, we also looked at Shopify, but we did not do anything with Shopify, nor did we do anything with XLB. So Shopify I'll remove from the list. We'll delete that. And that is our list for the day. We sold SoFi, PayPal, Procter & Gamble, Royal Caribbean, and we bought Keysight Technologies. All right, so let's take a look and see where the S&P right now is. It's gone up a little bit. It's gone up overall, what, 30 cents since it was down since we started this, I believe. So there we are. And now I will show you our results for the day. So we'll go down here and turn on the images. And here are the realized gains for today. I have realized gains of $409. And for the year to date, my portfolio is 16.63% compared to the S&P 500 of 9.42%. As you can see, slowly but surely, I am making money. And if you choose to follow me, or if you choose to make some of the trades that I make, then hopefully you will be making money as well. And hopefully you will share my videos, and that way I can reach more people and help them as well, because that is my goal. My goal is to help people gain financial independence or financial freedom, or help people gain control of their future. So we'll close these images out, and I'll see if I have anything else to add. If there are any questions of the videos or the content that I've shared so far, please send a question. Please reach out, and I'll do my best to answer any questions that I can. I'm hoping at some point in the near future I'll be able to put some educational videos up on how to open up an account, the basics of this particular platform, Thinkorswim, and slowly, continually increase the depth of education that I can provide in these videos. For now, I will just scroll. These are watch lists here on the left, on the left panel, and this is the stocks that I have in this particular strategy. Again, I have roughly 200 stocks that I use. You're more than welcome to scan this list. You can copy these down, and if there are any stocks that you think you might be able to afford, or if you're already in the markets trade with as I'm trading, then please go ahead and make a copy of the list. But you can see how many shares I have of each. You can see the price of each, and this is what I will be holding for long term. Most of these stocks are in the S&P 500. So, and when I say long term, I mean not just for a year or two, I mean for decades. The only reason many of these stocks or ETFs will be removed is if these stocks are removed from the S&P 500. So again, this is the stocks that are in the bucket or in the basket of the 200 that I use to trade every day. Some stocks will go, like for example, XLB. We went from April 29th to I haven't sold these yet. Let me see if I can identify another stock. So let's look at AppLovin. Right. As you can see, I try to purchase stocks as the price is rising. I do not buy as the price is falling, and I will wait until price starts rising again before I start buying and selling. As you can see, I've got 6 shares here. And you can see I purchased at $365.47 and $354.98, and the price is up to $370. So we'll just ran that down to 20. I've got 6 shares at $20. So that's roughly so far $120 in gains. It's just from July 16th on this one stock of AppLovin. So with that, I will say thank you. I hope you find these videos helpful because I look forward to making these videos every trading day. Thank you.